As the Stalker 2 has come out recently, and it's got me in the mood for some Stalker action again. I was fortunate enough to be around playing games actively when the very first Stalker came out, and I didn't really hear much about it. It didn't seem to be a great deal of hype around the game, and I picked it up. It wasn't full price. Was interested in the cover more than anything else, and was really surprised by the gameplay. When I first played it, I was not impressed. I just picked it up and didn't know what to do. It just seemed the graphics weren't really, at the time, the vanilla version and my computer combination really wasn't able to take advantage of the game. It was buggy, and at the time my internet really wasn't that good, so I didn't have access to mods. I don't even know how many mods were available. It wasn't a new release, but it was less than 12 months old when I picked it up. So this is the DVD version, and it's just the standard version that you'd get from your local game store. I picked it up from EB Games, which is, I think, similar to GameStop overseas, and it just comes with a, what that is, okay, random, I got some Stalker mods from a friend of mine, and I still talk about Stalker to this day, and so they're tucked in there. I might check those out later. I did not know they were there. So you just got the regular disc and just the manual. I always loved the look of the game manuals and everything. They did really well with this side of things, and it's not super detailed, but it's just nice to look at. Some of the later ones were in color as well, which was great. The back, anyone who's played Stalker knows this doesn't do it justice, but it just says, begin your descent into Chernobyl, attempt to survive, scavenge, hunt, shoot, encounter dark threats, mutated threats. At the time, I think it's hard for newcomers to understand just how this game was, in the sense of it was ahead of its time. It was this whole survival horror thing, but it wasn't really that. Like, it was, at the time, we had role-playing games, and we had Oblivion and stuff like that, but we also had first-person shooters, and Call of Duty was out, and I love Medal of Honor and all the classics, Doom, Quake, those sorts of games, Unreal. They're all around. The early Far Cry was around, which is probably the closest I can think of off the top of my head that I'd played, where it was more, a little bit open-ended, a little bit free-roaming, but this just took it to a whole nother level with the inventory system and everything that you would see more in a role-playing game. So I think it's hard for people to really wrap their head around just how different this game was, in my experience, to what was out there in the game stores for PC games especially. So I'm going to show some other ones. The next one is just the standard clear sky. So obviously this game's not as looked back upon as a classic, but I think some of the mods have added all three maps together and this faction clear sky and all that. So there's probably added value. When it came out, it was extremely buggy from memory. I bought it pretty early on. I think I was pretty keen to play the sequel after playing the first one. I've probably played through this about 5 times and enjoyed every minute of it, even with the frustrating bugs. I just kept playing it and getting it working, and upgraded my graphics card purely to play Stalker. The Clear Sky version. So in this one, we've just got the disc, and then we've got a manual. So the manual's got that weathered kind of patina look. Might have been taken from photos inside Chernobyl area somewhere, or maybe they did it themselves. I like to think they took photos in there. Yeah, it's just a manual, all the things. And yeah, look, I went back and I fixed this game with mods and played it again and enjoyed it a lot, actually. There was a lot of complaints with the weapons at the time. Remember, the machine guns and things were just really inaccurate and underpowered. Reading a lot of the complaints from Stalker 2 is funny, because it is almost like every problem that you would have had was in these original games, and I think a lot of people have said that as well. So yeah, it's a prologue too, that's right. So it's the early days. I haven't played this in a long time, so I'm actually playing Shadow of Chernobyl again from the start. I've added just a graphics mod and not much else really. I just want to play it as is. I haven't played Stalker 2 yet. I want to upgrade my computer so I can play it properly, and it gives me a chance to play through the originals. It's the official prequel to Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. It was a smaller game from memory, the maps, but there was a nice sort of marshy area, and the visuals were quite nice straight out of the box, but I think also my computer was a lot better. The next one is another classic. This one's a special edition, so I was pretty keen to get this. It didn't come with a great deal extra. I think they're still in the box. So it says special edition includes art card, zone map, and soundtrack. So we've got the game there, soundtrack. So that's pretty cool. And then, so it hasn't been used that much, but anyway, you can see the map and in all its glory, and some interesting locations that bring back some memories. I definitely played through this a few times as well. I really loved the atmosphere of this one. It's got a nice glossy manual, and we're in colour this time, so we've stepped up a little bit. I don't know whether that's for special edition or whatever. And then we've got some art cards, a few postcards. It's like a postcard from in Pripyat somewhere, and then some artworks and things. So pretty familiar artwork. This is long before the days of AI, so they're all done with love and care, and I'm not saying that the new stuff hasn't, but we can guarantee these were done in a more old-fashioned way. And on the back, it's just got experienced photorealistic areas around the Chernobyl reactor. I remember this one really amazed me with the Pripyat area with the Ferris wheel and things like that. A thrilling story with over 70 side quests, explore 3 vast areas, and open game world. They're still trying to introduce people to the whole idea of the open world, and it was around. We had Grand Theft Auto and, as I said, Far Cry, games like that, and Oblivion. Yeah, it's combining all those elements, and also being that they're from Ukraine area, a fresh perspective as well, I think really was interesting for us Westerners. Now I'm just going to look at a couple of special editions that I happened to get when I was on a bit of a hunt for Stalker memorabilia. This is a tin. It's not super uncommon or anything. You can get them still. It did have a jacket, but I don't think mine came with it. But I just love the tin, the weathered kind of metal tin. There's nothing on the back. It's like something you'd find in the zone, and just has the rather thick survival guide, and it's these handwritten notes. It's like a journal, but it is also a manual. So very elaborate, coffee stains and color pictures, all the different things you'll see while out in the zone, all the artworks. Absolutely love this sort of stuff. Growing up with Doom and Unreal, Blood, Duke Nukem, always love looking at the artworks, the conceptual artworks, and I do a lot of art these days and learn to draw looking at these artworks in magazines and games, like these pen drawings and things. Just fantastic stuff. The whole concept of the anomalies was obviously new in Shadow of Chernobyl. And that was a big thing that really took me a while to figure out even what they were, because there wasn't a lot of explanations. Like nowadays, we're so lucky with, you just Google it or whatever, and there'll be a forum post about it. Back then, it wasn't quite as accessible. Like it was accessible, but it was just not as streamlined. So you just trying to go it alone. Just saw a picture of the weapons, all these weapons. So a bit of diet sausage, chicken, and so I'll read it. This sausage, made from a mix of chicken and soya, is, for lack of other options, often a stalker's breakfast, lunch, and dinner in one. Yeah, this is awesome. Awesome artworks. They're just, it looks like they're screen grabs or renders. They're not hand drawn or anything. But yeah, that's cool. Then we've got the map as well of the zone. And yeah, probably don't need to unfold it, but I'll just do it anyway. So it's a bit of an odd shape. It's like an elongated map, like the map itself. Because you work your way all the way through the red forests, through military, wild territory, Yantar, garbage, and then cordon. I'm up to somewhere around here right now, heading into the wild territory. So we've got where the CD is, DVD is, and the DVD-ROM and a bonus DVD. So I'm not sure. I might have a soundtrack on it, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look at that. So there you go. that's the tin. And now I'll show you the special Pripyat version that I have, which is the last one. And this one, I had to buy it. I bought this, all these are over 10 years old, so they've just been sitting on my shelf. This again is in a tin, and I'll just refocus it. His tin's quite thick. Make sure it's in focus. So it's this very dark tin, and I just had to have this. It's just such a crazy thing. So this tin comes with the box. It comes with a map, a couple of material kind of badges. It comes with, which I've never opened. So the bandana has the little gas mask. It's like a diamond shape. So you tie it around your head or whatever. So it's got a bandana. It's got the map, which you can see. It's same as the other one. It's got a couple of patches, which are pretty cool. So a stalker patch and obviously a radioactive patch, because you're definitely radioactive if you've made it this far. It's got probably the reason I bought it, even though I don't even smoke. It's got a special Zippo with the stalker logo. Let them get that in focus. With the stalker logo embossed on it. And it's a fully, I don't have any fuel in it, but it's a fully functioning Zippo lighter. I just thought that is the coolest. And then the game. The game, it doesn't have the soundtrack, interestingly. So this one has the manual and it's also color. I'm not 100% sure. It's probably the same as the special edition, but it does not have the soundtrack, which is interesting. So you get a Zippo. Who needs a soundtrack? And you got a Zippo and a bandana when in the zone. Yeah, I just thought I'd share these with you. There's a tin in Poland available. It's extremely expensive, and it's got more stuff from Stalker. I can't remember which game it is. It might be Shadow of Chernobyl, but it was like a tin that has all the extra things. It was good to have the maps, and I have listened to the soundtrack on a little bit, and it's cool. We all know how good the music is in the Stalker games. Hope this was enjoyable, and feel free to ask me any questions, and I'm happy to chat about Stalker. I'm really keen to get into the second one when I get my computer upgraded.